This Week in Real Pirateball, documenting the 2010 Pittsburgh Pirates baseball season. And here's your host, Greg Mercer.
What's up, everybody? It's Mercer with Week 2 of This Week in Real Pirateball. I've got 7 Pirates-related topics for you this week, plus my all-important Bet Against the Pirates update. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. Let's start with the big story of this week, Ross Ohlendorf and his injury. Apparently, Ross was sleeping in a soft bed, which caused him to have back spasms. He missed both of his starts this week, and now he's landed himself on the disabled list. You know, I have a hard time believing that a bed causes injury, considering the line of work he's in. You know, throwing baseballs at 90 to 95 miles an hour. I think he should have invented a better story for his injury. Remember the time that Sammy Sosa sneezed and hurt himself? Now that was a good story. I think Ross should have said that he was steer wrestling with one of the steers at his ranch trying to impress a chick or something and hurt himself. Now that story would have scored a lot of cool points from Pirates fans. Since Ohlendorf couldn't pitch this week, us Pirate fans were blessed with the presence of Brian Burris as an emergency starter. He didn't disappoint us disgruntled fans when he only pitched 4 innings and gave up 6 earned runs in his start. Supposedly he was the only guy the Pirates could bring up due to MLB rules and other people not being stretched out enough to pitch more than a few innings. Seriously? When you have a guy that has a career ERA of over 6 and a whip of 1.68, do you really expect him to be pitching more than a few innings? Plus, a bunch of people told me that I look like this guy. I don't really see it, but I bet I could have pitched probably about as good as he did. Hey, Keith and Clyde, what do you think about Burris?
Your beard is weird. Your stash is trash.
In more Pirates pitching news, Hayden Penn was designated for assignment this week when they brought up Burris. Penn was picked up when the Pirates dropped Brandon Moss, who was one of the parts of the Jason Bay trade. So far, that trade has netted us a light-hitting all-glove third baseman, a perpetually hurt reliever, a starter in the minors that the jury's still out on, and now, Hayden Penn. He was absolutely horrific in spring training and equally as bad in his first week of the season. You know, the Pirates are always shopping at baseball's version of Goodwill. It has a bunch of old, used, and useless junk being sold for little or nothing, but people still buy it because they think they might get something out of it. But in the end, everything you buy there either gets tagged or has a pink slip put on it. If the Pirates want to improve, they need to stop signing these bums and draft some impact talent, then develop some of those draft picks, and then sign some quality free agents, which, you know, actually cost money. Let's get a little nerdy right now and discuss something called Pythagorean win-loss percentage. It was created by sabermetric guru Bill James. It's a formula that takes the runs you've scored and the runs you've allowed and spits out a winning percentage based on those numbers. It lets you know how lucky or unlucky your team has been throughout the course of the year. Going into Sunday's game, the Pirates had scored 48 runs. They've also given up 72 runs. That's a Pythagorean win-loss percentage of 32.2%, which is a season record of 52 and 110. Obviously, the Pirates have been a pretty lucky team to be a 500 club so far, considering they've been blown out in all of their losses, and currently their pitching staff is worse than the majors in terms of ERA. Okay, I don't want to be a downer for the whole show. Let's talk about some of the positives for the Pirates this week.
And Horton wasting no time, he's going to the Duke.
I hate to keep bringing it up, but Zach Duke continues to be the biggest bright spot on the Pirates pitching staff. He's been very solid this year. So far, after 3 starts, he has a .237 ERA and a .121 whip. Those are great numbers for any starter. This week, he went 7 innings and only allowed 1 run, although that run came off of a reliever. His command has been great, and he's kept his pitch counts down. Some people I know wanted Duke to pitch another inning on Friday because he only threw 90 pitches. It's too early. The Pirates want to try to save Duke's arm so that he doesn't tire out like he did last year. They trusted the bullpen to take care of the rest of the game, which is fine most of the time, but didn't quite go as they'd planned, although they did win the game. Issue 6, stolen bases.
What is he doing?
I've been wanting the Pirates to steal more bases for years, and every year it seems like they never listen. Well, apparently this year somebody got the memo because the Pirates have been base-stealing fools so far. They're among the league leaders in steals, and Andrew McCutchen already has 6 for himself so far this year. Just like I said in my preview, he should be stealing every single time he's on base. His steal of second in the 9th inning of Friday's game was huge because it allowed him to score the game-winning run on a single which Lasting's Millage delivered. I know people want to be optimistic about the offense, but most of the time it's going to suck and not drive in runs. They might as well take the chance to steal to get into scoring position. It'd be better than watching them have the bases loaded with no outs and then score 0 runs like they normally do. Last point, walk-off wins. The Pirates had 2 straight wins by walk-off on Friday and Saturday. I was actually at Saturday's game to watch the Reds' Francisco Cordero epically fail by walking in the tying run and then giving up the game-winning hit to Garrett Jones, resulting in a comeback victory. You know, wins like this are great for the home fans to watch, and it always seems like when I go to a game, something crazy happens. That was definitely true last night when I also managed to epically fail in catching a screaming laser foul ball. I can't remember who hit it, but the ball was right in front of me and coming straight for my chest. It was really cold, so I was wearing gloves, and I figured I wouldn't have any problem catching the ball, but it somehow hit both of my hands and popped out, and then someone in front of me got the dang thing. I was so pissed off because I've never gotten a foul ball before, and God knows I'll never have another chance to do it like that again. Now it's time to update you on week 2 of my Bet Against the Pirates experiment. The experiment in which I'm betting real money against the Pirates in every single game of the 2010 season. This week the Pirates went 4-2, which means that I went 2-4 on my bets. I lost $45.47 of my money this week, which brings my grand total of losses to $67.05. Well, the Pirates continue to keep winning games and grinding them out, and because of that, my bank account is suffering. But there's still 150 games left in this season, so you never know whether the Pirates are going to start doing poorly or keep doing what they're doing. We'll just have to keep betting and see what happens by the end of the year. So, what are my impressions about this team after 2 weeks? Well, the Pirates continue to scratch and claw their way to a bunch of victories, and now they're 2 games over 500 and off to their best start in 6 years. They're really taking advantage of the home cooking, and they're still not playing very well on the road, which will probably end up hurting them in the long run. Still, you can see the progress that these young players are making, and if they keep taking strides and doing well on the defensive side of the ball and not making mistakes, there's no reason they can't actually be fairly competitive this year. Well, that about does it for week 2 of This Week in Real Pirateball. I'm Greg Mercer. Make sure you join me next week for another edition. Later.